We've got a few prizes. Yeah, round of applause, one. We've got a few prizes to give away, and then we on radio controlled flying drone from Mark Laffin, also from ACU. So there's going to be some drone wars going down at ACU in the coming weeks. Risk IQ, the Bose Soundlink Revolve, goes to Mazzino Onibere from NEC. Well done, Mazzino. SC Magazine, the Bang & Olufsen BO Play Bluetooth speaker. Jonathan Levine, Griffith University, well done. Service Now, the mini drone, Sasha Mueller-Jacobs, the Government of South Australia. Skybox Security, the Penfolds Kalimna Bin 28, lovely. Thomas Siu from Queensland Audit Service, well done. Thomas, party in Thomas's room after this. Token 1, the Divoom Timebox Pixel Speaker, Nitin Singh from Victoria University, our final prize winner of the Passport Prizes. Win Magic, the $100 Amazon gift card. Robert Pirry from the Department of Social Services. Come on forward, Robert. If anyone's missed out there, we'll sort it out. We'll get it to them. If you've heard your name and you've got out of order there, speak to someone with the list. I do know we've got a couple of other sponsor prizes here. The guys from Hack Labs, you've got your ones. Just pop up here and tell us who's won the Hack Lab prize. If any other sponsors do have prizes they want to give out now that weren't on that list, just come to the side of the stage right now, if that's all right. What have you guys got? This is the Glenlivet Scotch. This was for the bomb disposal, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have all defused the bomb, so the future is in safe hands.
And who was it?
James McGrath from Coles.
James McGrath from Coles. He's not here? Can I trust you to take a bottle of scotch to him? Come on up and grab that off him. Fantastic. Good on you, Hack Labs. That was really fun, that the virtual reality bomb disposal. You got the semantic one there, Nick? What's this prize? Another drone?
Another drone.
The Mavic Pro.
One. And,
oh, this was drawn at random?
yeah. So, Scott Hawkins.
Scott Hawkins from the Marta Group. Where are you, Scott? You've won yourself a drone. If you know Scott, if you're not Scott, but you know Scott, come on forward, take it. We trust you. Well, when we multiply with how much we trust you by how much we really care if he gets it or not, we arrive at a nice number.
For his answer, more efficient use of resources and quicker time to identify threats.
Good work. No trouble at all. Any other sponsor prizes that we need to give out here? Any other sponsor prizes? Going. Gone. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on. If this is your first AusCERT, you're in for a real treat. We've been closing the conference for several years now with this, the annual speed debate panel. My background before doing all this was actually we did debating at university at quite a high level. I'd never heard of these speed debates until the organisers at AusCERT about 8 years ago tried to explain to me how they pictured one of them working. And it's just been tremendous fun. We have not one, not two, not the normal 6 you might see in a debate, but 9 speakers for you here today. But the great thing is we have not one topic, but 6 different topics. We're going to go through 6 different topics in absolute speed debating form. Each topic's going to have 3 people for it, 3 people against it, and they've only got 1 minute each. So at the end of the 6 speeches that will just hit you like an absolute avalanche, you hop on your app and vote for the affirmative or negative. We bring that up on the screen, and we slowly, by the end of it, we work out which speakers have been on more wins than losses, and of course, vice versa. Our speakers are in no particular order, and they're all just down here to my left getting liquored up. So give them a big round of applause. Patrick Gray is here, Chris Gatford, Nick Savitas, Casey Ellis, David Jorm, Ashley Dubel, Gary Gaskell, and now our defending champion, last year's speed debate winner, Darren Kitchens here. Give Darren a big round of applause. And As you watch all of this unfold and you think, gee, that wouldn't be easy to do, spare a thought for Sebastian here. Seb has stepped in at the last minute to replace Christina Camilleri, who can't be here. She's really sorry that she can't be here. She was very much looking forward to it. So give Seb a big sort of encouraging round of applause, because he's had about 3 minutes to think about this, including the amount of time I explained to him how it was actually going to work. Okay, the 6 topics we're going to have, and then we'll go through one at a time. But Mr. Robot, finally an accurate hacker portrayal. The Hollywood hacker is dead. The second topic, antivirus is a government backdoor. The third topic, cyber war can only be a movie plot. The fourth topic, ad blocker users are parasites. The fifth topic, elections are won by data breaches. And the final topic, it's good when you don't own what you buy. So they're our topics. These are our speakers. I'm the chair who's standing at the wrong lectern. He's going to do the timing on, but he's so seamlessly going to move over this way, you're not even going to realise. That's the level of professionalism we like to think we bring to the last segment here at AusCERT. So our first topic, Mr. Robot, finally an accurate hacker portrayal. The Hollywood hacker is dead. You'll have 1 minute from when I say go. If you go for like 1 minute and 3 seconds, I'll probably let you finish. If you get to about 1 minute 5 and you don't sound like you're wrapping up, I will pull time on you. But I do remind those of you who haven't been to one of these before, sometimes the very best and most effective speeches are only 15, 20 seconds long, just delivered with great passion. You've got a timer down there in front of you. Please pay at least cursory attention to it. Our first topic, Mr. Robot. Finally, an accurate hacker portrayal. The Hollywood hacker is dead. The affirmative will be Casey, followed by Darren and Seb. The negative will be David, followed by Nick and Patrick. So to kick us off, how about a massive round of applause? Take it away in our first topic, Casey.
All right, so what is black and tan and looks good on a rollerblader? A Rottweiler, right? So I think the thing that Mr. Robot got best done, and one of the innovations it's brought to the portrayal of hackers is the lack of rollerblading. I think that's an improvement that we've made. I mean, the other thing on a serious note is hacking is really boring. Most of it is sort of tantamount to watching people pick through hay or clean their bathroom or whatever else. So to create a television series that's even vaguely entertaining and accurate at the same time is hard to do. I think Mr. Robot's gone from the ridiculous, where you've got the swordfish, like graphical malware while other stuff's going on, version of hacking, right through to the boring stuff. I think they've tried a good line.
Thank you very much, Casey. Give him a round of applause. There you go, our first speaker. Not quite sure if you were for or against the topic there, but I loved everything you had to say. David, take it away. Take up the negative.
Yeah, so, I mean, much as I respect what my colleague was saying, I do not. Rollerblading is an integral part of hacker culture. How can you take yourself seriously if you don't have fluorescent hair, rollerblade down the steamy streets of New York City at 2 a.m. with a wearable computer on your arm, and you start talking about how you're a revolutionary, you're going to change everything? No, risk is going to change everything. And who's this fucking clown? He's never even hacked a Gibson.
Whoa, okay, David, good to see you're passionate. Darren, take it away. Second speaker for the affirmative.
Thank you, Adam, and I must say it's an absolute pleasure and honor to be joining you here once again, and I must say you are looking fit as always, and it was a riveting speech last night at the gala dinner, which is what I have come to expect from you. You are a legend and a scholar. It is about time the hacker community was represented by a drug-addicted anarchist, because the rubber ducky never looked so good than on primetime TV, I must say. Particularly, previous hackers were all about ego. We've seen nothing but neon beepers and rollerblades. I mean, really, Swordfish? Far cry from the actual hacking, which we all know is just plugging USB drives into computers. So I must say, the anti-hero that is... What was the name of the show again?
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot, fantastic in my book.
Thank you very much, Darren. Great stuff. Wonderful speech, Darren. I love the sucking up. I should point out I'm not the only person who will be voting today, but you certainly got my vote there. Nick, take it away in response for the negative. Nick Savides.
Yeah, so, look, I enjoyed Mr. Robot, but I fundamentally disagree with it because the Hollywood hacker is not dead. It's become Schrodinger's hacker. It's both dead and alive at the same time. I think that Mr. Robot does us a disservice because I enjoy nothing more than watching CSI Cyber, right? 2 idiots on 1 keyboard, hearing phrases like hack the firewall, right? The mainframe, you've got to hack the mainframe. And I get angry. I enjoy it. It lets me vent. I like watching those shows. It is. It's very cathartic. And what I find is Mr. Robot stole that from me. It stole it. It took that dream away from me, and I had to find other things to be angry about.
Okay, thank you very much, Nick. To wrap it up for the affirmative, Mr. Robot, finally an accurate hacker portrayal. Take it away, Seb.
Right, so on a more serious note, I guess, I think the fact that Mr. Robot does do a lot of research on the tools and the software and you know, actually gets the right consultants is doing us not a disservice, but actually a service to the community, because it puts people, normal people, into the minds of or rather represents us as hackers as a more, you know, human character, or more, you know, we're not the criminal. We're not. Well, we are, but we're seen as not that dangerous type. You know, we're getting humanized a bit, and at least the techniques aren't you know, writing a GUI to trace the IP address of the killer by whatever, right? So in Visual Basics, so we don't do that anymore, and I think that's a really good thing. I think with that. I hope we keep doing this, and I think shows like Mr. Robot, Silicon Valley, they're doing a good job. Even shows like movies like Jason Bourne have recently, you know, hosted fake DEF CONs and invited real vendors. So I think it's doing a good job, I think.
Thank you very much. Give Seb a big round of applause. That's the end of the affirmatives argument. I did like the moment there, Seb, when you said, we're not criminals. Well, we are, and Darren just hit his head on the desk a couple of times. I liked it. Patrick's going to summarise the argument for the negative. Take it away, Patrick.
Look, I love this show, but to watch Elliot being Elliot, the main character, there needs to be some suspension of disbelief, because this guy owns too much too quickly. Have you watched the show? They're taking down SCADA networks, data centers, enterprise networks, social media accounts, the whole thing. So basically what I'm saying is Elliot would have to be the best hacker on the planet if this is to be believed. And if he was actually the best hacker on the planet, he would have been co-opted by now. You would tune into their Facebook thing. You'd see them media whoring all over the place, going off to race their Porsche on a racetrack on the weekend, planning the latest extension on their home. Basically, if Elliot was real, he would not be an anarchist trying to start a revolution. He would be hacking cars and media whoring and hanging around at Vegas, having everyone backslap and high-five him. The end.
There you go. Okay. You've heard both sides. Give them a round of applause. Casey, Darren and Sebastian on the affirmative. David, Nick and Patrick on the negative. The topic is Mr. Robot, finally an accurate hacker portrayal. Hop on your app now and vote. We'll have the interactive voting up here on the screen. It's rollerblading versus Porsches. It's Schrodinger's hacker. Get in there and... it's close. If it's close like this, I really let the voting go right down to the wire. Look at this. There's nothing in this 48s, 51s. Got a couple more Oh, no. Ooh. I'll give you 5 more seconds.
Come on, throw us a bone. Rigged. Russian hacking.
Oh! I'm going to give it incredibly narrowly 2. Yes, to the affirmative. Congratulations, Casey, Darren and Seb falling across the line there. Okay, our second topic. Antivirus is a government backdoor. Casey and Darren again on the affirmative, this time joined by Patrick, Gary and Nick, this time joined by Chris. Gary and Chris for the first time in the debate today. So the antivirus is a government backdoor. You've got 1 minute. Take it away, Casey.
So I think it's yes by necessity, because basically anything's a government backdoor if you try hard enough and you're well enough resourced as a government. So yeah, I would argue that you know, the ubiquity of antivirus, the fact that the code's clearly written in a bit of a hurry. If you watch Tavis's Twitter feed, that's clearly true. I'd also argue that it's you know, potentially a long con marketing play by some of the security research teams that are out there, but you know, that's a whole other story.
There you go. Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for using 26 seconds of your... I'd asked for a Diet Coke and I realised they just brought it in. I thought I've probably got time to get down there. No, I don't. Thank you very much for that, Casey. Let's now go, taking off the case for the negative, and going to talk for at least 20 seconds, please. Gary.
Oh, I'll take his spare time then. Now, we know a lot of things, and I typically come from the logical argument. So if you look at modern psychology, we know that people that follow conspiracy theories are actually people that don't have control in their life. So just like my colleagues to think about that for a moment. But really, a lot of people here probably worked for the government at some time in their life. Do you really think the government could actually organise this? That is like things that could take a... Anyway, we don't need to back that up with facts here and now. And secondly, could they keep it a secret if they were? I think that's the end of the story. Over to the negative team to try and do something with that.
Thank you very much. I remind you, Gary, you are on the negative team, but apart from that, I like very much what you're saying. Fantastic. It's very confusing. Let's go back to Darren now, who I'm pretty sure is on the affirmative team. Antivirus is a government backdoor. Take it away, Darren.
Thank you. And I must also thank you all for showing up. I know it's late in the day, and I must say, from this perspective, the blue lighting on all of you is just bringing out the natural glimmer in your eyes. But really, seriously, about the backdoored antivirus, I mean, this is obvious, right? And that's okay. You know, of course, every major government is backdooring their antiviruses, and I love my government. They know what's best for me. So it's okay, right? And what's really fun is you install Symantec and Kaspersky on the same machine, and then your emails go to both Trump and Putin, which is pretty much the same effect either way. I love you guys. Please let me back into the country.
Thank you very much, Darren. Give him a big round of applause. Nick, taking up the case for the negative. What have you got for us, Nick?
Well, you know, I think people would assume because of who I work for, I can neither confirm nor deny this. But fortunately, all my colleagues have left except for one, so I can actually answer this question. That is, it is just a ridiculous suggestion. I mean, we don't need backdoors. Essentially, we serve up our information for nothing anyway. We've traded everything for a few clicks and few likes to share photos, to impress people that we hate with the things that we're doing. We don't need backdoors anymore because our minds have already been backdoored.
Very deep. I like it, Nick. Yeah, and I love the dramatic... Oh, he was trying to do a 27-second dramatic pause and use up the entire minute. That was great. I loved it, Nick. Thank you very much. Patrick's going to wrap it up for the affirmative here. Take it away, Patrick.
Has anyone here either A, done security testing on AV, or B, followed Tavis Ormandy on Twitter? Like, what else could AV be apart from a government backdoor? The code quality screams government. And, you know, those parsers that are included in these AV packages were clearly written for no other reason than to provision access to anyone who can throw a packet at that box, right? So I guess I'm just going to wrap it up by saying that Nick is clearly Illuminati or something, and yeah, AV's a government backdoor.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. That's the end of the affirmative case. Chris, wrap it up for the negative, please.
Well, you know, I agree with Patrick. The code quality is crap. And that's a great example of why government certainly could not be behind a global backdoor system. I mean, we only have to look at some of their engineering capability, census. And I assure you, as an independent consultancy, there is no backdooring of any antivirus product as far as I'm aware of. Thank you.
There you go. Great use of props. I like it. Okay. Well, there you have it. Antivirus is a government backdoor. The case was put by Casey, Darren and Patrick. It was opposed by Gary, Nick and Chris. Hop on your app and vote right now. Is it a government that's just everywhere and pervasive, or a government that couldn't organise a chook raffle? Deep down you're asking, you know, has your mind been backdoored, as Nick said? Let's see. Oh, okay, this is starting more towards the...
Come on, throw us a few votes just for the lulls. Come on.
If you want to vote on the affirmative, you've got to get in that bandwagon right now. 40-60. Yeah, a little bit. Here we go. Whoa.
To use that mental backdoor right now.
I'll give you 5 more seconds if you want to hop on the affirmative side. I'm going to give it convincingly to the negative. Congratulations. The negative have picked up that one. Give them a round of applause. Okay. Now, this debate, cyber war can only be a movie plot, is going to see the debut of Ashley, who's been sitting here chomping at the bit. He'll be joined by David and Nick. On the negative, Casey, who it seems only ever likes speaking in the first position for a team, will be joined by Darren and Patrick. So, cyber war can only be a movie plot. Take it away, Ashley.
I think it's a retarded question to even think it's anything other than a movie plot. I mean, we've already spoken about hackers. Has anyone seen someone that really looks like Angelina Jolie with her duck lips? No, exactly. Then we had Swordfish. Does anyone know anyone in security that looks like Wolverine? He's freaking awesome. No, exactly. Die Hard 4, we've got an old, slow, fat, stupid Bruce Willis, but we've got the weenie dude that knows everything about computers. Could be true. And then obviously Independence Day, you know, who here has uploaded a virus to a UFO? Patrick? No? Uh-huh. Maybe. And look, if it was anything other than a movie plot, we'd have a room full of people here that did security for a living. I don't think we do.
Thank you very much. Ashley, give him a round of applause. That's his debut in AusCERT speed debating. I like it. Casey now to take up the negative. Cyber war can only be a movie plot.
Yeah, so I think the stuff that we're seeing today, if we'd have tried to create a movie plot even 5 years ago and assumed that it would turn into reality, we'd have, not necessarily been confident in that. Like 2012, we find out that everyone's spying on everyone, the public, I mean, not us, we knew the whole time, but, our grandparents and whatever else. 2013, half of the US gets its credit cards stolen. 2014, you got, people committing suicide because of the Ashley Madison breach in healthcare records and stuff. 2015, you've got toasters taking down the internet. In 2016, 2017, you've got the election getting hacked. So I think we're approaching a dystopian level of insanity that I think is, typically would have been only the subject of movie plots, but today it's pretty real.
Okay, thank you very much, Casey. Nice line. David, don't be shy. Take it away, David, for the affirmative.
Okay, so did you know that in 1901, Australia was federated, and there was one state that rejected to join the federation? This is true, and that state was New Zealand, and they must pay. So there will be a war between Australia and New Zealand, and it will be fought with bloodshed on New Zealand soil. It can't be fought as a cyber war. We're going to need helicopter gunships. We're going to need amphibious assault teams. We're going to need special forces operations inserted via submarine. You know why? Exactly, at least 300 guys. Because if cyber war was possible, all we'd have to go into their poxy, Kiwi government departments, pull some NTLM hashes out of their Windows 98 boxes, pop the TP-Link router that links them to the entire internet, and game over. The fact that hasn't happened means that cyber war can only be a movie plot.
Okay, thank you very much. Feels like you really enjoyed getting that off your chest. That was great. Okay, where are we up to now? Cyber war can only be a movie plot. To wrap it up for the affirmative, Nick, take it away.
Yeah, cyber war can only ever be a movie plot because we have air-gap networks and they keep us safe. Come on, right? That was wasted. I can't even do it. Right, I can't even say that with a straight face. No, but the thing is, cyber war, the term has been hijacked by Hollywood. It's a self-feeding beast, right? Hollywood has turned cyber war into something exciting when it's all just logs and shit, right? And conferences by the beach. I mean, no one cares about that sort of stuff. Right? So cyber war, Hollywood has defined what we think about cyber war. The reality is the cyber wars are here and we are all the cyber warriors. Come on.
Thank you very much, Nick. Great stuff. Now, the astute amongst you might have noticed that was 2 speeches for the affirmative in a row. I did make a little mistake there. I think I skipped over you, Darren. So now, if you'd like to take up the case for the negative, Darren, and we'll have 2 speeches in a row for the negative to wrap out this somewhat confused mini debate. Take it away, Darren.
Well, has cyber war ever been a good movie plot? Did Swordfish even have a plot? No. I mean, it's never been done well. Yeah, sure, War Games with its epic 300 baud modem and acoustic couplers, but that was about the Cold War. The truth is that we're living in a cyber war in the same right that I was born into the Cold War, but that wall fell and the world has changed, and yet the headlines still read that we are stockpiling 0 days in a cyber arms race. So it's the same information war, it's just a different venue. And if anything was right from that movie, War Games, not just the nukes and mutually assured destruction, it's that the only winning move is not to play Unplug Your Ethernet.
Okay, there you go. Nice work, Darren. Patrick, to round it out for the negative, what have you got for us, Patrick?
Sadly, I think it's kind of already here. Go ask the average Estonian what they think about this debate question, right? US military uses a lot of cyber means to complement its conventional warfare. This is the thing. And I'm trying to be funny about this, but I can't be because 2 weeks ago, a worm that exploited a patched SMB vulnerability took down 300,000 hosts. So the fact that we haven't seen something that can be clearly identified as cyber war, I think is just pure luck. You know, give me 5 good hackers, let me take their children and hold them hostage in a vault, and you'll get your cyber war. We can make it happen. Okay, it's as simple as that, and it's really sad that this is the case, but 5 of the right people, take their family hostage, man. We can make some stuff go bang.
Thank you, Patrick. I'm not sure if that was an observation or a threat, but I liked it very much. It's probably the appropriate time. I should have mentioned I did instruct all the debaters beforehand also. I was meant to give a caveat warning that none of the opinions expressed by these people are necessarily their true opinions or the opinions of the organisations they represent. They're encouraged to be provocative and to push the boundaries of the debate topics and sometimes common sense and even threaten to lock kids in basements. Anything like that is all things are good as far as we're concerned in this. So the topic is cyber war can only be a movie plot. That's your topic. It was Ashley, David and Nick who took the affirmative. Casey, Darren and Patrick took the negative. Let's have your votes on this third topic.
Hey, we did better arguing that antivirus was a government backdoor.
That's the most one-sided result I've seen in 8 years of doing this, but we'll give it a few more seconds. You might push up into the 13% range. No, you might retreat back into the mid-12s. Ashley said, I don't think my mum would have voted for us on that one. Okay, well, there you go. So I'm going to award that to the negative, I think. Well done, Casey. Well done, Darren. Well done, Patrick. Bad luck, David, John and Ashley. Better luck next time. Let's move on to our fourth topic. Ad blocker users are parasites. Ad blocker users are parasites. David, Chris and Seb will take up the case against Gary, Ashley and Patrick. Adblock users are parasites. David, take it away for us.
Okay, so when we're talking about whether or not they're parasites, we're talking about money, right? So what is money? Prior to World War I, we had a gold standard. We had physical gold. Then in 1910, there was a meeting in Jekyll Island, South Carolina, because the US really has hegemony economically over the world. And there they created the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not actually a government department. It's a private corporation. The Bilderbergers were heavily involved. And they created a private corporation with government fiat to print money. It's the greatest conspiracy of all time. And, this is completely... What even is money in this context? Now we have this magic money called Bitcoin. It's all another Illuminati conspiracy. It's all run by the same people. Come on, wake up, sheeple. It's the same puppet master behind everything. But anyway, they're still fucking parasites.
Whoa, okay. David getting a few things off his chest there. Well done, my friend. Okay, Gary, have you got anything you'd like to say in response to that, leading up the negative?
Oh, absolutely. Right. Well, where do we start? We all know that the adware, professionally, AdNet sites, they just get hacked, and it's a great way to inject malware into people's machines. So there's a good argument there for why people should be blocking ads. Secondly, real sites on the net, they're making big bucks, are taking payments for their services. This is just the little fringe, and I don't like the whole concept of even the question that there's parasites, and it implies that these people have a right to our money through the connection of ads and adverts. They don't have that right. And if we're talking about rights, they don't have rights to inject stuff into my machine, drop stuff on my machine, whether it's legitimate, whether it's software that's somewhat honest or it's potentially malicious. They do not have that right. End of story. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary. There you go. Give him a round of applause if you agree with what Gary said there. Chris, you're going to take up the case for the affirmative. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's with a heavy heart today that I sit before you because I have a sad story to tell you. Advertising executives are suffering. They have had to downgrade from Porsches to BMWs. They've had to move on and find other ad revenue sources. We have seen people associated with the media now having to resort to emceeing events such as IT security conferences.
Here.
Now I ask, please, turn off the ad blockers and bring back the money to the media companies' bar tabs that should frequent AusCERT. Thank you.
Here. Well, I think we can wrap up that one right there, can't we? That was beautiful. That was very, very moving stuff. Thank you very much, Chris. Okay, Ashley, where are you? What have you got for us? Taking it up for the negative. Ad block users are parasites.
So, Adam, I'm going to be really quick, so don't duck off for a Pepsi, all right?
Okay.
I once installed an ad blocker, and I couldn't find an old lady that wanted to shag me in my area. That's all.
I had no idea this topic was going to be such an emotional journey for me. It's just I'm seeing so many aspects of my life right here. Seb, you're going to wrap up the debate for the affirmative. What have you got for us?
Look, ad block users are the scum of the earth, right? They're basically preventing me from what, like you said, distributing malware. That's my CDN. Why give it up, right? But also, like Chris already said, it's not just the executives that are suffering; it's the companies too. The small outfits like the Googles and Facebooks of the world. What else are they supposed to do? I don't know. They can't listen on your phone calls or mind your messages. That would be really immoral, right? So they really depend on these ads to make money. I think that's really important to keep that up. So disable those ad blockers.
And my super fund or something. Is that the next argument, right?
Well,
Okay, take it outside, boys. I like it. Okay, Seb, well done. Patrick, you're going to wrap this up for us. Ad block users are parasites for the negative. Patrick.
This is an easy one for me. I mean, I started a podcast and I've been making my living out of a podcast for the last 10 years because even 10 years ago, CPM, like display advertising on the internet, was driving journalism into the ground. It was also driving profit margins into the ground, and we're seeing that bite now. So I think really ad block users are kind of doing most of the media companies a favour by contributing to this downward spiral in display ad profits, which is hopefully going to mean we're going to see some decent business models pop up to replace them, right? And the other thing is users are just trying to protect themselves by using ad blockers because ad networks just can't get their shit together and keep serving up malware. It's a situation so bad that my podcast co-host Adam Boileau described, visiting your average news site without an ad blocker as the equivalent of barebacking the internet. This is just where we are. Okay, so they are not parasites because they don't want a malware-riddled porn pop-up carnival as a computer. And ultimately, it's doing the media a favour.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. I presume that's a technical term I'm not familiar with, but okay, there you go. We've got David, Chris and Seb on the affirmative, Gary, Ashley and Patrick on the negative. The topic, ad block users are parasites. Take it away, cast your votes. Who does your heart go out to here? The Illuminati or media stars, advertising managers, or gorgeous middle-aged women who just need affection? Well, there we go. That's there's a bit of work needed there. Give you a few more seconds. That's been on the end of a couple of pretty rough pineapples there, David. I must admit. Anyone want to come across to the affirmative? Just for the. Okay, I'm going to call that one for the negative as well. Congratulations, Patrick, Gary, and Ashley on that one. Bad luck, Seb, David, and Chris. We move on to topic number 5. Elections are won by data breaches. Elections are won by data breaches. Gary, Ashley, and Nick will affirm. Chris, Darren, and Seb will oppose. Gary, are you ready? Take it away.
Absolutely. Well, if we're going to have good outcomes of elections, so let's be clear on what the argument is here. It's not just any result, it's a good result. We need to make decisions based on good information. And if that means hacking brings it to us, then bring it on. Okay? But we need both sides to be hacked, let's be honest, just to keep it fair. And we want elections to be fair. And we've seen some hacking in the last, like the French and US elections, but it wasn't quite fair enough because the other side wasn't hacked. And what are we really trying to bring out? We're trying to expose the bad ideas that people have in the back room. And are they going to just be honest and come up and tell us what they're really planning? No. So bring on the hacks, bring it out, and let the election be won and lost based on the real information. Thank you.
Well done, Gary. Congratulations. Okay. We've got Chris now to take it up for the affirmative. Fire away, Chris.
We all know that elections aren't won by data breaches. Elections are won by candidates with solid messaging, with good news support. Also, elections are won by a really rigorous process, one that shows above approach that the voting process was solid and refined, such as you find with a Diebold voting machine. Another quality product available there. So therefore, it is inconceivable that a data breach could contribute to such a bizarre outcome. Thank you.
No trouble at all. Can someone get Gary some water? But apart from that, well done, Chris. Okay, Ashley, take it up to the affirmative. Elections are won by data breaches.
Well, obviously we have a shriveled rhubarb in power somewhere at the moment, but I think we should all take a step back and think of the children. So obviously I work at a university, and say we had a young university person who was a vegetarian student president of the club, and Red Rooster got hacked and his eating habits of rotisserie chicken got out. What's he going to do for the rest of his life? It's just not fair. Think of the children. Thank you.
Thank you, Ash. Darren, take it away. Elections are won by data breaches. I can't wait to see what you think about this topic.
Yeah. Actually, remember when you asked me about the government backdoors and the antivirus? I think I'd like to rescind my answer. I think there's actually a protocol in this book about how I'm supposed to answer. So I think you should know that it should be obvious to anyone living in this fair world that we have a just and honest democracy, and that furthermore, data breaches could never sway public opinion, and data breaches would never be weaponized as part of an information warfare campaign. No. Data breaches don't win elections. I can't do it. Ignorant, narrow-minded racists in gerrymandering districts win elections.
Okay.
Please let me back in.
There you go. Okay.
Here.
Okay, take it away, Nick. What have you got for us?
Well, politics has always had a very clean reputation. I know growing up as a child, I always, had sort of celebrity-like worship for the politicians who ran the land. And I think today that's all changed. Politics has been tarnished. It's been tarnished by data breaches. And data breaches do make elections now. They do make those decisions for us. Elections are made via data breaches. What it's done, instead of talking about noble causes and great policy, we now talk about who's emailing who and who's buying what, instead of having our minds controlled with subliminal messaging and all of the good things that used to happen out of the very wholesome politicking that happened.
John Podesta's risotto recipes look like
Very important. I want to know that. I mean, if Kim Kardashian is really important, why can we not apply the same lens to our politicians? We should see all of their data. We should see all of this. This is transparency at its best.
Thank you very much, Nick. Okay, that's the affirmative case done and dusted. Sebastian, you're going to wrap it up for the negative. What have you got to say?
Right. So Darren couldn't do this, but I can. I'm German. So first of all, I think that it's obviously not the data breach that wins an election. It's the candidate, right? And I guess it's not politician in every case. It's candidate. And I think it's important to get, a politician or politicians that say it like they what they mean, and they're honest, and they're caring, and anyway. So I think that it's not the data breach, but it's the spin that news put on it, and it's the spin that we people put on it. So I'm kind of in disagreement with Darren here, I guess, because of what he has to say. I'm losing my thought. I'm done.
Hey, well done, Seb. Okay, great stuff. There we go. That's the topic. Elections are won by data breaches. Gary, Ashley and Nick took the affirmative. Chris and Seb took the negative. Darren tried to take the negative and couldn't quite. So let's see how you go with your votes on that one. Fire away. Elections are won by data breaches. Now, we've got yes in front at the moment. We'll give it a few more seconds to see if it settles down. It's about 2-to-1 ratio. Here we go. 2-to-1 ratio in favour at the moment. Now about a 3-to-2 ratio. Ooh, closing. Here comes the no case. Ooh, I'll give you a few more seconds on this.
We say it like it is, you know.
Oh, getting close. A few more seconds. If you're going to vote no, you've got to hop in there now. Or a yes, just going to fall across the line. I'll give you 5 more. I'll give it to the yes by the narrowest of margins, 54-46. So congratulations to Nick, to Gary, and to Chris. No, sorry, not you, Chris. Chris, Gary, and Ashley. Sorry, Chris, I'm going to take that off you. So Nick, Gary, I've obviously had a couple of drinks. Nick, Gary, and Ashley. Chris, I got your hopes up there. No bickies for you on that one. But you're back in this one, my friend, in the affirmative. It's good when you don't own what you buy, is our final debate topic. It's good when you don't own what you buy. Gary, Ashley, and Chris will take the affirmative. David, Casey, and Seb will be the negative. So, Gary, take it away. It's good when you don't own what you buy.
Well, we had a team meeting about this, and we go, what are they actually talking about? So we're pretty clear. This is talking about cloud services. This is our industry, so that's our topic. And why is cloud making things better for us? Because we don't have enough of us. You know, we're fairly specialist, and I think who was it? Was it Richard Stallman? Somebody said the clue is getting thinner on the internet by the year of the people who really know how it works, and you really have to know how it works to secure it properly. And so our argument to you is put your services in a cloud provider who's got some really good, smart people. They'll set up the security really well, and that protects your interests. You don't need to buy it. You don't need to build a server and, you know, put in SE Linux and everything else. You just let some other true professionals run it for you. And it's a similar argument. You don't need to own a farm and grow your own vegetables to eat the food. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary. There you go. Take it away, David, the negative. It's good to own.
I used to live in Silicon Valley for a while, which is a shame. And I have a story from a friend there, and he landed at San Jose Airport, and he got in an Uber to go to Santa Clara, which is north. Guy drove him into San Jose, which is south. Got him about 20 miles off course, took him into a back alley in the most ghetto area in San Jose, was obviously about to stab and perhaps do whatever else to him, until my friend ran out of the car and called the police. This doesn't happen if you own what you buy. I mean, personally, I don't get out of the airport parking lot and you know what? I'm going to go to the ghetto. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to get stabbed. Look at that guy, he's eyeing me off. I'll show some gang colors. You don't usually do that if you own what you buy. Now, we also have to, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, we have to refer to the people that have set the ethics and morals for our society. And I think one of those people is Richard Stallman. He's taught us a lot of things about ethics, about free software, beard cultivation, applied autism, all kinds of things, right? And he talks about freedoms that are inherent in free software. It's not just free as in beer, it's free as in freedom. And it's libre software, and that's what it is when you own what you buy. You can change it, you can modify it, you can tinker with it, you can decide whether or not you want to go into that stab alley. You have all that autonomy and freedom. And otherwise, you're just going to have the Ubers of the world, which will be bought out by the Bilderbergers of the world, which will just be running off their government fiat conspiracy theory, owning everything, conspiracy fact, and you will have no freedom, and you will wind up bleeding out in a North San Jose alley saying, why? Why did I let this happen?
There you go. Okay, thank you very much, David. Passes the microphone straight away to Ashley. Ashley, you're on the affirmative. Take it away.
Why would you ever buy anything? I became an adult just recently and bought a house, which was enlightening to say the least. As soon as I bought this house, it had an old, shitty bathroom. So I thought, fuck this, I'm going to renovate the shit out of it. I start pulling shit down and the walls are asbestos. So you go out, you get some knucklehead to come and pull the asbestos out, and they meant to do it specially, but they don't. They just put it in a skip, like whatever. And then he goes, hey, you got a problem. And I'm like, what the? And I look, and I've got termite damage. And so we go and get a builder. Builders are idiots. And so the builder comes and he charges $1 squillion to fix this other crap up. And then we get the plumber in. The plumber's like, sorry, we have to change the pipes and all this sort of shit. And I'm like, okay, we've changed the pipes. And eventually we start doing the renovation, and something that was meant to cost $5,000 cost me like $25,000. If I was renting a house, some other idiot would have been paying for that, and I would have been on the balcony drinking beers. End of story.
Thank you very much, Ashley. This whole debate's just been a 1 hour therapy session for you, hasn't it? You've just been getting stuff off your chest. I love it.
It's very cathartic.
Very cathartic. Take it away. Casey, what have you got for us wrapping up your contribution today?
All right, so I'm arguing this in context of it's bad when you don't own what you buy. Like I personally believe I run a crowdsourcing company, right? And I think that the service economy and the service consumption model is going to become pretty pervasive, but still, it's bad when you don't own what you buy. If you're thinking that you're actually buying it when you buy it, right? My problem with this is that I don't know what the hell I own anymore. Like I bought my son an iPad. Great, that's a physical thing. I've gone to the store, I've brought it home. First thing he asks is, Dad, can I get some apps on this, right? Which relies on me connecting out to a cloud service that I don't own, interacting with that. There's all sorts of other shit going on in the background that I've got no real awareness of. I bought that thing thinking that I would own it, it would retain its value, I'd be able to resell it later. It's an asset that I have, that I possess, that I own. And it turns out not to be true. And I think that applies across lots of different things. Like you go to cloud, a HP server sitting in your data center, when it breaks and you don't have maintenance, which you also don't own, all of a sudden you've got a bit of a problem. So it applies there too. So my argument is while I don't know what the hell I actually do own anyway, I'd like to be able to own everything.
Okay, there you go. A 1 minute discourse on the nature of ownership itself. Thank you very much. Just what we needed at this time on a Friday. Casey, thank you. Okay. Take it away, Chris.
Was that own everything in terms of a capitalist sense or in terms of
No, it was with a P.
Okay, take it away, Chris. Wrap it up for us. Final speaker for the affirmative.
Wow. How much crapware have we seen in our lives that we would like to give back to vendors?
Just look at the vendor hall.
This is why it's good not to own. And I kind of like think of this as rental. We like rentals. Rentals have been around since the age of time. And the best business model in the world is based on a rental: prostitution. It works. Thank you.
No, really, Chris, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Sebastian, would you like to say anything off the back? You don't have to directly address the arguments Chris has raised there.
That's a hard one to follow up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
No. Let's just move on.
So I think ownership is quite important for a number of different things, but I think especially in our industry, right? Some of the tools that we have, we might love to put them up in the cloud, and I do this all the time. I have build servers up in the cloud, and they work great. Except that one time where I want to spin up something as a test environment, and yes, I can do it in the cloud, but I need cores, I need to have something constantly running in the background, and I don't want to spend $500, $700 to keep that server running in the cloud, because that's what it costs. Well, the same thing, I own the hardware, I've got it running at home, or sorry, in an environment at the workplace, and it's stable and it works, unless, a cat pees on the switch, but that's another matter. But you want to own things because, and you want to, that happened. But I'm going to go over just a tiny bit because I think that it's important to own things and also own what happens with the connections, because if, you have a garage door opener and you give them a bad review and they break your door, that's really not what you want, right? So you want to have ownership over that and over the services.
Okay, thank you very much, Sebastian. Give him a round of applause. As you contemplate which way you're going to vote on that one, I must admit, when I saw that topic there, it's good when you don't own what you buy. I did not expect there was going to be mention of either cat's piss or asbestos, but it was fascinating to see where you guys took it. Let's wrap it up now. Gary, Ashley and Chris were our affirmative. David, Casey and Seb were the negative. Post your votes. It's good when you don't own what you buy. Take it away. Oh, yes. Okay, the nose looking good to start. Everyone's waiting to see if David can hold on for his first win of the day. Well, it's closing. It's closing. So David on the no is looking at possibly his first win of the day here. If the nose can hold on, it's going to be a. I think you're going to hold on there, David. I'll give it a few more seconds. Ooh, yeah. Now then, yes, the no's have got that 56-44. So congratulations to the no team there, Casey, Seb, and David. I've got a 3 there, I've got a 1 there, and I've got a 2 there. Okay, so at the end of our 6 topics there, I've tabulated the following scores for our speakers. I've got no one picked up a 0 out of 4. Chris and David picked up 1s out of 4, but David, you did share in the middle there in back-to-back 2 of the biggest defeats in the history of AusCERT speed debating. So I'll give you last place. Congratulations, David. Chris stumbles out on a bit of a countback just out of that zone. Then there's a string of debaters on 2 out of 4. We've got Ashley, we've got Patrick, we've got Nick, we've got Seb. Big round of applause for Seb for stepping in the last minute. That was wonderful stuff. We do also have Darren on 2 out of 4, but I'm going to give you an extra half because you did. It's the first time I've ever in a debate seen someone get halfway through a topic and go, no, sorry, I can't do this, and just do a mic drop. So I'll bump you up to 2.5 out of 4. Well done, Darren. But that leaves Casey and Gary as our winners, both on 3 out of 4. So give them a round of applause. Casey Ellis and Gary Gaskell have topped the AusCERT speed debate for 2017. Well done to all of our speakers. Fantastic stuff. Now I'm going to hand back for a final close. I think I've got down David here to say a few words. Give David Stockdale a big round of applause. He comes forward. He'll say a few words. We'll give our speakers some prizes and we'll be done.
Okay, thanks very much, Adam. Thank you for you guys. That was great for my first time here. So that was excellent. Really, what I'd like to just say as we get to the close of AusCERT 2017 is, hasn't it been a great conference? Everybody who's been here many times has said it's been fantastic. I found it fantastic. I hope you've gained a lot of insights, and I hope you take home some good stories that you'll talk about for a long time from this conference. So now to some thank yous. First to our platinum sponsors. These events don't happen without that sponsorship. One Identity and Semantic were our 2 platinum sponsors, so thank you to those guys. I'd like to thank our speakers. Our keynotes were excellent, but it's not just our keynotes. To all the speakers, I've been on this side giving a talk, and it takes a lot of effort, and it's very much appreciated. So to all the AusCERT staff, I'd like to say thank you, especially to the 2 Becks, Beck and Beck, because they put this event together, and this is excellent. So thank you very much to everybody, especially Beck and Beck. And finally to our conference organisers, GEMS, and to the Marriott Hotel, and of course to Adam, wherever he's gone. He's gone for Diet Coke. Okay, well, finally, I'd look forward to seeing you all next year. I hope you do come, and have a safe journey home. Thank you.